For this assignment, I'm going to show you how to make a 3D logo. Here are some examples that some students have made. So you can have all different shapes, sizes. So what I show you will be the basics, but you can do different, then you make yours unique. So first off, you need to open your Fusion 360 and double check, make sure there isn't a red warning up here. If there's a red warning, then talk to your teacher. We'll get your Fusion updated. With that warning in place, you can't save, so you won't be able to keep your progress. Okay, after you've checked that, you need to make sure that your settings are right. So on the left, you click the drop down arrow on document settings. Make sure that says units IN or inches. If that says mm or millimeters, you need to click on this change active units option. There'll be a dialog box pop up on the right. Select inch, set it as your default, and say OK. Okay, once you're in the right units, you're ready to go and find an image and start drawing. So if you open up your Chrome browser, and you can either upload a picture of something that you have. Say you have like a logo, like a family brand or something that you want to do, you could do that. Or say you're a huge jazz fan or something, go and find whatever it is that you want. I'm just going to do jazz logo for simplicity's sake. You can do this little note one. I'm going to click on it. And then I got to look at this and decide, okay, would this fit nicely on a round puck, something square? Should I just make this logo and then extrude that? So you have some options here. Since these are kind of chopped up, I'm going to need something behind it to hold it all together. So I think I'm going to do a circle on this one and then put this on it and extrude that either up or in. So I'm going to save this image. So make sure you save it somewhere where you know it's going to be. Name it something that you're going to remember. Then you can go back to your Fusion and start creating your sketch. So this tool is the sketch tool, and when you click on this, it's going to change all your settings to sketch settings. So I'm going to click on this. I got to pick a plane. I'm going to select top on my view cube and select this plane right here. And that just gives me a surface to draw on, a plane to draw on. So if I were to rotate this, you would see there's a plane there that I'm drawing on. And you see it's pulled up all my sketch tools. So like I said, I'm going to do a circle. Yeah, and you can do a rectangle or something else. You can make your own shape even with the Spline tool. But most of your tools you're going to be drawing with are right here in this Create tab. I'm going to do circle. Click in the center here and drag up. Don't make anything larger than 6 inches. It's just getting kind of big. This one I'm going to do like 5 inches. And now I'm going to extrude this. So I'm going to go and say Finish Sketch. Select the Extrude tool. And you can click on this, but as long as it's highlighted blue, you know that it's actively selected. And you can drag this up, or you can type in a number. Don't go too much larger than 1/4 of an inch. I mean, you can, but like if you look at these ones, most of these are around 1/4 of an inch. This one's thicker. That's okay. I mean, because it's kind of smaller anyways. But keep it within, you know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch. Then I'm going to put my image on here. So the way that you do that is you create a sketch and select the face that you want to put the image on. I want to put it on this face. So I just created a sketch on this face. If I were to turn this, you can see there's a plane on top of that now. So now that I've created a sketch, I can go to Insert, Canvas. It's going to bring up a box like this. You got to go find it. I'm going to say insert from my computer. Find where I saved it. Say open. And I'm going to click on this face. That's where I want it to be. And it puts the image on there, and it gives me tools to adjust the size and location. So if I grab the center one, I can move it. If I grab these three here, it lets me scale it. If I grab this one, it lets me rotate it. So just get it where you want it, the size you want it. Once you have it where you want it, hit enter. And now I have an image to trace. So if I look up here, I have all my drawing tools. You got to figure out which is best for what you're tracing. So some of these are going to be better with the line. So I'm going to go ahead and select the line tool. And I'm going to zoom in, start right here, zoom out. Okay, and when you do this, you have to create a closed shape. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So this one isn't the neatest or cleanest, but getting it done. Okay, right here is a bend. I can do an arc, so I'm gonna hit escape, get out of the line tool, and find a tool that I can do that bend with. So if I go to this drop down and create, there's an arc, there's this curve, also there's a spline tool. So I like the spline tool here, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna click on it, I'm gonna zoom in, and everywhere you click on this, it creates a little bend. Okay, and you see it's trying to keep bending. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit enter and finish that tool. And then I'm gonna go back to it again and snap it back to where I started. You need to have a closed shape here. So I just snapped it there, enter. You see how that lit up is highlighted when I hover on it? Now I know that that is a shape. It's important that you have closed shapes when you're doing this. So I'm gonna go through and I'll do an arc on this, and then I'll pause and finish this and show you how to extrude it. So here's how you do the arc. You go to create, arc, 3-point arc. So when you do an arc, you select one side, the start and the end of the arc, and then you bend the middle. So that's another way that you can make some of these shapes. And I don't know if you saw that, but there are construction lines that help you line things up. So if you watch, if I hover on this point and go to the left, there's that little dashed line. It's showing me that that's the same height. And I'm going to click there, click there. So you can kind of hover over things, and it gives you little construction lines if you want to line things up. So let me think of any other tools that you might use in here. I mean, you can look through these. Sometimes you might just be drawing a rectangle. You can just pick the rectangle tool. Control Z's to undo. But you can look through here and decide what you're going to do. I'll go ahead and finish this and then show you how to extrude it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a couple things. You can grab these little adjustment circles and move lines after the fact. So you can always adjust things after the fact. So don't be worried to mess up, because you can always fix it. And the more you zoom in, the more accurate you can be with your lines. Like I mentioned before, you can pick a line and then you can hover over another line, and it gives you a little dashed construction line to make you know, to let you know that things are going to line up. So you can use those if you want. Okay, I'm going to hit escape and then L to get back into the line tool. So I'm going to go through and do all these lines, and then the arcs after the fact. Okay, I'm going to show you how I do these last couple arcs. So I'm getting close to finished here. Go to create, arc, 3-point arc, and I can snap it to existing points and then adjust that middle. This is the 3-point arc tool. Okay, so we're going to leave this off for now just for time's sake, but I have it already. I'm going to say finish sketch. Now I'm going to rotate this just a little bit so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to pick the extrude tool. And I'm going to select everything that I want to either pop up or go in.
That game's unrealistic. There'd be way less people watching that.
So I could pop that up, make it three-dimensional that way. Or I can go through and sink it in a little bit. So if I went in the other direction, and when you're pushing and pulling this, it's gonna over here say it's cutting or joining. So it recognizes that it's going through a surface here, so it's trying to cut through it. But sometimes you might want it to join. Just keep an eye on that. When I'm going up, it assumes I want to join and add material. So it's making a new material, and here it's cutting away material. And you can make some stick up more than others. You don't have to extrude them all at once, but just go through and do that. I'm gonna just cut a hole in this one. And then if I want to see what it looks like, I can go down to my timeline down here and delete that picture. And then that's what it looks like. I can do Control Z and get that picture back on there. But okay, and I could, you know, if I wanted to, I could put my name on here or something. If I went to create a sketch, clicked on this face again, and went down to the text tool, I could put a little text box on here and put my name. I'll make it bold, a little bigger. Say OK. Finish the sketch. Could extrude my name. You know, the same. I could cut it through or make it stick up. Right there, it's sticking up. Whoa. Okay. Let's try that again. That's why I like to rotate it like this. You can see what's going on a little better. So anyways, this one actually wouldn't work. My name would probably need to stick up because this would fall out, this would fall out, and this would fall out when it's being printed. So you got to think about those things. So I probably want to extrude this just up a little bit. Okay, and then I could go through and I could fill at the edges. Fillet tool, clean it up that way. And you can type in numbers here until they work. If it's not working, you need to make a smaller number. See, I'm doing 0.2. That's like 1/4 of an inch. Or you can maybe 0.09, or just depending on how thick it is, you just adjust this number and what looks good to you. 0.1 actually might look pretty good. 0.15. So you can play around with that. Okay, once you have it how you want it and you're ready to print it and submit it, go to File, 3D print, uncheck send to 3D print utility. This just sends it out to like an external utility. So I'm going to unclick that, and I'm going to make sure this is selected. It should all be blue and say one selected or whatever over here. Say OK. Save it under your number. Make the name your name. Say your name and then logo. It should save as an STL. After you've saved that, go into Canvas. The assignment is called 3D logo design. Alright, thanks and have fun with it.